good evening, and welcome to Tea Time.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time. It is Monday night. It's April Fool's Day, people. I was telling everyone I was pregnant today, but no one believed me. I'm going to talk about my weekend real quick and then get to my guest. There's not much to tell. I didn't do too much this weekend, but yesterday, as you know, was Easter, and I had my family over for Easter brunch. It was lovely. I made penne alla vodka and pancakes and bacon and eggs and just have a plethora of food because us Italians, you know, we eat like we're going to the electric chair every time there's a holiday. But it was wonderful. So I want to give shout out Murdered by the Mob. And I got a picture of Ralph Bracco and myself. There we are. There's Bunny and Vito. And if you go to murderedbythemob.com for tickets, it's the longest running murder mystery show in Manhattan. It's been running over 30 years. It's at the Iron Bar in the little downstairs. It's like a speakeasy. It's called the Secret Room, and it's a lot of fun. So you come. It's like going to an Italian wedding. Someone gets whacked. You figure it out. You eat, you sing, you dance, you drink. It's a lot of fun. Also, coming up, I don't have a pick for it, so don't go crazy looking for it. Me and My Nuts is a sitcom that I'm in, and we're showing it in Staten, Italy, aka Staten Island, on April 10th at the Atrium Stadium Cinemas. So go to Tea Time website or the Theresa Canastrese Farrell website, and you'll see all the information there, how to get a ticket and how to come and see me. It's hysterical. It's so much fun. And we're going to be showing actually episodes 1 and 2. All right, so let me get to my guest because I'm so excited he's here. I met this wonderful man 8 years ago. He's an actor, comedian, and writer. Scott Baker is with me. Hi.
I thank you so much. I gotta tell you, I don't know if they can see these boots. These boots.
Oh, these boots.
Yeah, look at these boots. Oh
Woo,
my
baby.
She must have. It's like a fashion. Put it together. You're like a put it together professional.
Thank you.
This dress, the boots. The only thing I gotta say is I just have to check my phone because I probably didn't get that invite for Easter because all that food. So my phone, I'm sure, is not working because I'm sure we got.
No, because
it's working.
We only messaged you Facebook, and I'm like, I gave you my cell, but you didn't give me back yours.
Oh,
and
I did.
Like, all right, guess he doesn't want me to have it.
Oh, you just go to any gay bar and it's there. No, I'm kidding. So just. I just, all that food. Maybe next time.
So listen, Scott and I actually met 8 years ago through a wonderful mutual friend who I love dearly. And I looked up as an idol coming up, doing stand-up. Bob Nelson did a 6-week improv thing in Huntington. And I contacted Bob and I said, I could do 4 out of the 6 because I'm going to be in Florida for 2 of them. Come on down, Theresa. And I was really the only female comic that showed up, which was great because they used me a lot. And it was so much fun. It was great meeting you back then.
Bob's an icon.
I know.
He really is.
I
think the biggest compliment, one of the biggest compliments I ever get is when you have an idol. And I don't know what to look at you. Look at that. When you have an idol.
Yeah.
And the idol gives you the compliment. And then you get to work with that idol.
Yeah.
And Bob's a legend.
Yeah.
I think he had 3 Rodney Dangerfield
specials on HBO.
Right. And 4 Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And he got to sit on the couch with Johnny. I mean, you got to see Johnny. If you ever get a chance to watch it,
check it out.
Pop it up because Carson's hysterical laughing.
Yeah,
and
it's great. No, it's great, and it was great meeting you back then. And we kind of like see each other every now and then.
Yep.
I know you're a very, very busy man. But I want everyone to get to know you. Like, where did you grow up? Are you from the island originally?
No, I'm originally from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, Brooklyn boy.
Yeah, so whenever I go on stage, I tell everyone I'm originally from Brooklyn, and then I moved out to Long Island when, the city started going downhill, when it went broke. So my father said, that's it, packing up, going out to Long Island. And we went out to Comac.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you don't realize how good you have it when you're a kid. You know what I mean? How great it is. I mean, the suburbs, Long Island, it wasn't too far out, but it was beautiful. You get on your bike in those days, you go, someone fed you. Drank for garden hose, without someone giving you a lecture.
Yeah.
It was great.
And you ended up, so as a kid, because listen, you do stand up, you also act, you do a lot of different things. Ultimately, you became a New York City police officer.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
You're welcome.
But as a kid, did you always want to go into the entertainment industry, or you weren't too sure what you wanted to do? Were you into sports?
It's a really cool story.
I want to hear it.
It's one of these stories.
Yeah. It's
so
a roller coaster.
I'll try and make it really quick. So without bringing everybody down, because it's not wanting to get, like crazy. You're sad when you hear it. But so when we moved from Brooklyn, the reason we moved from Brooklyn was we needed a new beginning. I was one of 3 children. I was the youngest. So my brother, the middle, he was 7 and he passed away from cancer. So we moved out to Long Island. And a couple of months later, my father got cancer. So he passed away when I was 10. So, and in between then, my oldest brother, he was bullied, and my father was Italian, my mother was Jewish.
Okay.
So I was raised Jewish. But
it's usually the mothers.
Right.
Yeah.
So people knew us as being Jewish. And another reason was my original family name was Sabatino.
Okay.
So my father changed the name to Baker because his father was killed because he was, and in the papers, king of the underworld, and Jimmy Vincent Sabatino, Jimmy Diamonds, as we call him.
Okay.
So he was murdered. And then my father's mother passed away about a year later. So he was basically an orphan when he was about 7 or 8 years old, and he had 2 other siblings. So people knew us as Jewish, and since my brother then fell into a deep depression because he lost this brother and a father, he was bullied, and then people used, and I would not say everyone freaks, oh, white supremacy. No, relax. It was just a bunch of dumb kids finding weaknesses to pick on him. So they firebombed our house with a chlorine bomb. They put our garbage cans on fire. They burned a swastika on our lawn. So my brother fell in a lot of deep depression. So what I would do is we had no money at all. It was tough. So what I would do is I would leave my mother's room, go to the linen closet, put stuff on, come back in, because we had only one TV, it was in my mother's room. So I'd come back in and I would put on a show, then I'd leave, put on another costume, come back in. So I was improvising from when I was about 11, 12 years old.
Wow.
So, and I realized, wow, you can really change spirits by making people laugh. And it felt good. And then I became a cop because we had no money. I did like helping people. There were benefits.
Right.
In those days, when I became a cop in the 90s, you could still be a cop, so it was starting to change, but I'm glad I made that decision. It was just a great job. I missed the clowns, not the circus.
Yeah.
So I learned some unbelievable life lessons with the greatest people, but being a cop is the funniest people in the world, and you're always improvising. And
you put in your 20 and then you...
No, I got hurt early. I broke my gun hand 3 times and I herniated a disc in my neck.
Oh, wow.
So I got out early, but I secured myself, a pension.
Right.
And, I learned so much. It cultivated me for who I am today. The past is always present. So whatever you learn in your past, you're going to take you one way or another. It depends how you think about it, right?
Yeah.
So Shakespeare has said, nothing is neither good nor bad. It is thinking that makes it so. Right. So you train your mind to what your experiences are going to mold you.
Right.
Well, these are terrible and you're going to go into a shell? Or no, those are terrible, but I learned from it. I'm going to be emboldened and I'm going to be something now.
But when you're saying you were 11 and you were doing improv,
yeah.
In a way, your life's come full circle because this is what you do professionally now.
Yeah, I've been real fortunate with it.
I've been
real fortunate because of guys like Bob Nelson who I watched. So the way I got my act was Bob Nelson was in something called the Long Island Laughter Company. And it was originally and Nelson was with Eddie Murphy,
Right.
You know, but originally when I saw them, he was with Rosie O'Donnell had just left, and Joan St. Ange took the female place.
Yes, yes.
So Vinnie Mark, Dave Hawthorne, who is also unbelievable, he's out in L.A. now, and Bob Nelson, Vinnie Mark. So it was those four.
Right.
And I was watching them, and I was doing stand-up, and I was going to the East Side Comedy Club, which is probably the greatest comedy club
Yes,
ever
yes.
made by Richie Minervini.
Yep.
And I owe him my start. I owe him my career.
Yeah.
Because he was the one who said, started out in those days, I think you got 3 minutes on a Wednesday night at like 11 o'clock. And then if you did well, you got 5 minutes.
Right.
And then if you did well, you got 7 minutes.
Right.
Then 15. And then you moved to the Thursday night.
Right.
You know, and then, so it would build like that. But I watched their act, and they had 4 of them. And I said, even back then, I was like, if that would be even funnier if they had 2 comedians on stage, but they used the audience. Mm-hmm. So I left because I was 19 or 20 at the time, and I was okay doing stand-up. But I left because I was a boxer. And I was, I was pretty good. I was pretty good. I had 21 fights.
Yeah.
So I said, comedy is ageless, like acting. It'll always be here. Like, let me
Right.
take a shot as a fighter.
Right.
And since none of you have ever heard of me, you know how that boxing career worked out.
Yeah, but I
So-
want to know how you. I was going to get. I wrote, look, boxing. I was going to get into that, but how did you get into the boxing? And where? Because actually, you really before comedy, you got into the acting first, correct? Before comedy, or did comedy,
comedy
come
came
first?
first.
So comedy came first, and then the acting. I think we've got your very, very, very first. One of your first headshots. Right
Yeah.
there, the Scott Baker.
Oh, who's that? Who's that young guy with dark hair?
I don't know.
Who's that dark hair guy? Yeah.
But that's like one of your first ones, because I know I have mine in
Yeah,
black and white
that's
also.
when I was like, yeah, so I was like 30. Yeah,
Yeah?
It's like 20, almost. That's almost like 30 years. 20, 25, 26
It's
years,
amazing how
yeah.
fast time goes, right?
like that.
Because I know I have my black and white too from the 90s
Yeah.
going on. So comedy came first.
Yeah.
So again, East Side was a big part of, influencing,
Oh, yeah.
Your comedy.
And how to treat people.
Yes, which was important.
Yeah, because Richie, the way he treated people, he was the
Yeah.
first one I knew.
He's coming on my show in June, people. First
Watch the
Monday
show,
in
'cause
June.
this guy's got stories
Richie's
that
coming
will
on.
make you laugh. and
Yeah.
will keep you at the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
He's worked with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like a little kid when I work with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, tell
He's
me more,
great.
Richie. He's just a great guy. But yeah, so I walked out that night, my last show that I did at Eastside. I became a fighter. And
That was it. So you did it, and then you said, "I want to box," because the comedy.
Well, I had a shot at boxing. I mean, I really did have a legitimate shot.
No,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So it just didn't work out. My mother got breast cancer, and I graduated college, so
You went to Hofstra.
went to Hofstra. So I had to stop. I had to get a real job, and
Yeah.
money was tight. Like I said, I had to help out. I was to pay myself through college. I was a male dancer, so I was dancing on the weekends,
Okay.
fighting and training during the week.
Okay.
And so I paid for almost half my college.
Wow.
And Hofstra was expensive. It still is
Very,
expensive now.
yes.
But in those days, so I paid for half my college. Thank God I was able to make that kind of money.
Did your mom know you were a male dancer?
Kidding me? I was paying her money from it. She was like my pimp. Yeah, she knew. Yeah, she knew.
What was your dancer name, Scott?
Rick Sabatino. Yeah. I went back to my original family name. So it was
funny.
Ricky Sabatino. And it was funny because then the girls would say, "Oh, Rick," like if they meet me, like if they catch me somewhere out afterwards.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, and I'm like, and I ignore them. Like,
Because you didn't answer
who
to
the hell
that.
Rick is? Who's Rick? I don't know.
that's so funny.
Say, oh, you stuck up? You don't remember me? I'm like, I'm sorry. Rick. Rick. Oh, yeah.
Did you
yeah,
ever
Rick,
dance at the Rainy Night House in Queens?
No. I did a lot of private parties. I did some
okay.
some clubs.
Yeah.
Some clubs, but the
mostly
real money was
private.
the real money was in the parties.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, because you do 4 parties. I'm 1987. The biggest weekend I ever had was $1,100.
Wow.
That's 1987.
That was a lot of money back then.
I had 2 cars. I was comped at the Showboat Casino in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
It was great money. I mean, it was
Yeah.
great money back then.
Oh, of course.
And I paid for half my college.
And now because of Magic Mike, I mean, that whole
yeah,
thing
and I have to say,
took
if you
off.
girls haven't seen Magic Mike, you should watch it because it's very true.
It is. It's very
It
true.
is. It's pretty true. I mean, the way they do certain things is very true.
Yeah. So with the comedy, did you study under anyone? Did you take any kind of comedy classes?
Yeah, Joan St. Ange.
Joan,
St. Ange.
okay,
Yeah, I knew my
yeah.
comedy was okay. My hat's off to comedians like yourself. You got to write stuff. You got to think. You got to memorize. And it's funny because when I talk to comedians, they're like, wow, how do you do what you do?
Yeah.
It's just where I went. It's just where my natural ability went.
Yeah.
You guys got to remember stuff.
Because improv is a totally different animal.
Yeah, it is. You got to really clear your head. And, you know, again, everything you do, the past is always present. So when you're a fighter, you think you're going with a fight plan, but like Mike Tyson says, when you get hit in the face, the fight plan goes out the window. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Life is like that. You got to plan what you're going to do until something happens in life.
Yeah.
And, you know, comedy, when you're stand-up, if there's a crowd member who screws you, messes with you, or something doesn't go right, a lot of comedians, they scramble. How do I get back to my routine?
Right.
With what I do, there is no routine.
No.
And if you try and put that square peg into a round hole, you're going to screw it all up.
It doesn't work.
You know, so what I do, I'm just fortunate to be able to do what I do, and fortunate to be able to carve a niche and have a career. And, you know, I can't believe myself sometimes that I've actually been able to make a
Well, you know what?
living
We're going to talk more about that career when we come back, but we're going to take my first break. So stay right there. Don't go away. Back after this.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought.
Well, hi there, Theresa. It's John York from General Hospital. I am just checking in because apparently you have a great talk show called Tea Time on Strong Island TV. I want you to have continued great success and have a lot of fun. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the key to everything, isn't it? So continued success. I'm proud of you. Have a great day, Theresa. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea Time. Thank you, John York. John York, unfortunately, is battling cancer right now, so I'm sending out prayers to him, and hopefully he'll get back on GH when he's feeling better. But shout out to Paul and Greg DiFilippo and Michael watching from Florida. Thank you. Please like the show. Please share it. Tea Time is live here at beautiful Paradise Studios every Monday night, 8 o'clock. And then it goes to Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, everywhere podcasts can be seen. And every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Channel 20 for people on Long Island who get Optimum TV. We're going to be on TV Saturday.
Yay!
I'm with Scott Baker. He's an actor, he's a comedian, he's a writer, and is author also?
Yeah, just, you know, for fun, I just wrote a couple of books.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was about this.
For fun. I just wrote a couple of books.
Well, you know, like I said, cops are the funniest people I've ever met. So, again, you know, I like listening to people. I like listening to people's stories.
Yes.
It's
That's
fun.
why I do this.
You're a good listener.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, so cops are really funny. So over the course of being a cop, I took all their stories, just put them in a book. It wasn't anything creative. You know, I just put it in a book, and I had a co-author, this guy Tom Philbin, who was just a great guy. What a good man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away. He was just a nice man, and he had a lot of crime books, but he had a great sense of humor. And he's like, "Let's do this."
Yeah.
So, you know, Story and Tenacity. It was turned down because at the time, a lot of you know, now it's become so woke, you know, but there's a lot of people, show business and publish, whatever, all that crap. They don't want anything that makes cops look good at all. So this is just regular cop stories, you know, cop fun stuff. And they were turned down. I had to go to the publishers convention at the Jacob Javits Center.
Yeah.
Had to sneak in, which I did.
Okay.
And I found a publisher, and I gave out copies of, like the treatments.
Yeah.
And finally, I found Andrews McNeil, this wonderful woman who was the publisher. And she said, yeah, let's do it. She gave us our advance, and then it sold really well.
Nice.
So she said, let's do it again. So I did a second one. Then the third one, she had left, she'd retired. And the other woman was this real anti-cop. So she didn't do it. I got so sick of. So the third book was good story, a warmer shade of blue, good stories that cops do that the news doesn't report.
Right.
Actually won an award, but I couldn't get a publisher to publish it because it was about good stories cops did. So I had a publisher tell me, unless it's corruption or about a crime figure that you're taking down, we don't want to know it.
Wow.
I was like, that's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
pretty terrible.
Because I think people, especially in today's world, need to hear good news and good stories.
I mean, they need to know the truth. They need to know that, out of the 3 million interactions a day with police officers, how many of those are good ones? Don't go report it.
Well, you mentioned the woke thing, and as us comics, which I've said in the past, we go up there, we're trying to be funny, we're trying to make you laugh. Nothing is malicious. We're not looking to hurt anybody. Do you find that things have changed a little bit in your routine, in your improv act because of the woke?
Oh, because of the woke?
Yeah.
You can't do certain things, which is just.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I'm at the stage now where if I never work a day again, I'm good.
Right.
I have enough. I'm good.
Yes.
Although I enjoy doing it. And I think what I'm doing is good. Because I know that people come up to me and they say, I've had cancer, I'm going through chemo, or I went through a tough time.
They need
and I really laughed. Because what we do is different, because I don't tell jokes.
Right.
So what we do is we have people come up on stage with us.
Yes.
So we're making this person on the left side of the resort in the room friends with that person, and it creates memories. And it's the funny thing is, and again, I'm at 57, I no longer care.
We were just saying that the other day. As you get older, you just don't care.
I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So so I'm going to say this. I'm going to say the people, and I have so many friends that are black that don't get offended, or so many people that are Asian friends that are Asian that don't get offended. But it's the little white liberal that gets offended for them.
Right.
And here's a great example. We're on a cruise ship, and we do this bit where I did Kim Jong-un.
Okay.
All right. Now, for those of you who don't follow, geographical, geopolitical stuff, he's the evil dictator of North Korea.
Correct.
So I'm imitating him.
Right.
And the cruise director comes up to me in between shows. We have to do 2 shows on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
So in between shows, and he comes to me, hey, man, it's a great show, but you can't do that bit about Kim Jong-un. I go, why not? He goes, well, we could have people from North Korea on the ship. I go, you don't have anybody from North Korea on your ship, guaranteed. And if you do, they're not going back to North Korea. Trust me, we came out of Miami.
Yeah, right.
So in between, I go, all right, we could drop that. It's not a big deal to drop. We don't have to do that bit. Fine.
Yeah.
In between shows, we see a bunch of Asian people running down the stairs. I go, oh boy, I guess they were the ones that complained. I guess it was offensive, right? Because I don't want to offend anybody. I really don't. It's not my purpose.
No, it's not what we want to do.
No, it's not my purpose at all. I want people to laugh.
Yeah.
They come running down and they're talking with their accent, that bit about Kim Jong-un, so funny. Oh, can we take a picture? We love that bit. So funny.
See that?
So they're from South Korea, loving that bit.
Wow.
And yet this guy, Mr. Woke, he's offended.
Right.
So that's the way the business is. I mean, it's not a big deal for us to drop that bit. I'm just bringing it up as...
But when it's funny and it works and people laughing, it's hard to throw it away.
It shouldn't be offensive. It's not. There was no curses in it. It's just an accent.
Right.
You can tell me people don't talk with accents.
Right.
It's an accent.
Right.
And you're
not making fun. It's a form of imitation.
And I singled out Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying Asian people.
Right.
Kim Jong-un.
Right.
So, in that aspect, yeah. But it's okay because what we do, it's not a bit I got to throw out. I just got to change it.
Yeah.
I got to change the accent. But I found it very amusing. You didn't get mad when I did the Italian accent or the British accent.
Right.
That wasn't offensive.
Right.
So it's the Irish accent. But, it's a different world now.
It is interesting, right? It really is. So let's talk a little bit about, you talked about boxing, but back in, I think it was 2018, if I got the year right, it might have been before that, you had something called HIIT, at home workout.
Oh, yeah.
And you got people into shape.
Yeah, it was a great thing.
Yeah, and I want to know more about that because person who has been struggling with weight her entire life.
You look great. I don't
I have to say thank you, but I have to say like fine wine.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better as I'm getting older.
I do. I think women men do too.
I mean, I'm saying it right here. I'm going to be 60. Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
wow.
A lot of people think like, what are you, 42, 43? And I'm like,
So
yeah.
I honestly thought you were in your 40s,
September,
yeah.
thank you, Scott.
Wow,
But
60.
September I'll be 60.
God bless you.
And I just feel like, yeah, first of all, I don't care. But second of all, if I do, it's on me and not for everyone else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I do think.
But when I saw this hit thing,
Yeah.
it got me interested because I've done every workout under
Yeah,
the sun. And I saw that one woman in her 50s who you got
Yeah.
in shape for competition against 20-year-olds. And I was
Yeah,
not that my thighs, my inner thighs would ever look like that, but I'm really interested in that.
Well, two things. One is I think with women, I think confidence goes a long way, and society kind of tells women that billboard is what you got to look like.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of gone the other way where they're like saying, okay, you can be in terrible shape and it's still great, and I'll put you in underwear up at Victoria's Secrets. Let's not go crazy.
Right.
Let's stay in our lanes here. Let's not promote bad health. But at the same token, let's not body shame and say because you're a couple of pounds over that you don't look good. Because I think personally, a woman's confidence and a woman, how she handles herself, her heart and her confidence dictate her sensuality or sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
So a woman looks far better way she carries herself than how she looks on the outside. Very much shallow how. You could see these gorgeous women, and I know some, that are so narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it a mile away and they just look ugly, no matter how good looking they think they may look.
Right.
As far as the HIT goes, I'm really proud of that because it stands for high intense interval training.
Yes.
And all I did was take what I did in the ring and I took it to the home. So you challenge yourself, so you cannot fail.
Okay.
You do it at your pace, but you got to push yourself.
Okay.
So like my old boxing trainer used to say, you may not have 100%, but you may only be 80% that day, but you must give 100% of your 80%.
Right.
Yeah.
And was a lot of it using your own body weight?
Oh yeah, you don't need any equipment.
Yeah.
you
See,
don't
a
need
lot
any
of people
equipment.
think they have to go to the gym
No.
and like work out to
No,
like
you need
be
a space.
dying.
You need a space about the size of what you see on your screen.
Right.
That's about it. It's all you
That's
really
it.
need, and you need the desire to do it. I got a letter, and this wonderful young man sent it to me. He had an unfortunate accident. He was a kid. His mother and him contacted me from England. He got kicked in the head when he was a child, and he had some real serious developmental issues,
yeah.
life support, all that stuff. And this kid, they couldn't motivate him. He sent me video, him and his mother, of him doing it and repeating me. And it's cute because he was a teenager at the time in his English accent. And his mother thanked me because she could not motivate him.
Wow.
But he saw, because I do talk a little too much in the video, but I'm doing it because it's fun. So, but it motivated him and he had fun with it. And he lost weight and he started doing triathlons.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's in great
that's
shape.
Great.
Max Brimble. So Max, I'm going to tell everyone that I shout out to you.
There you
He's
go.
in fantastic shape. He's a fantastic young man.
That's
And he's always
great.
smiling. I love this kid.
That's
I sent him
nice.
NYPD t-shirts.
That's
He loves it. He's
cool.
a good guy. Yeah.
Now, is that something where you did any kind of home videos or you did
I just
that?
had the idea and I just did it.
That was it?
It's the first time. Yeah, I just did it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So
And then you built clients by all like what, word of mouth or stuff like that?
Well, a friend of mine had a gym, and I started training people at the gym.
Yeah.
And then me and another guy broke off, and we said, let's go open a gym.
Yeah.
So we opened a gym, and
Oh, you had your own storefront.
yeah, we had a gym, training. And,
Where
you
was
know,
that? On the island somewhere?
Yeah, it was in East Northport, and
Okay.
now he's over like in the Elwood area. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
He's a good guy, and it's good. It gets you in great shape. It gets you. In
And
great
how many
shape.
days a week do you work out now?
Now I try and go just for my own mental clarity, like 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go 6 days a week when my body
Yeah.
and the time doesn't always permit. But I mean, I just think it's good for your mental
Yeah.
clarity. Put your
Yeah.
headset on, just go and
Like
think.
get in a zone. Well, I ran 3 half marathons.
Really?
So yeah, for Crohn's and colitis. So I got that down. I will never run a full. That's not
That's
happening.
rough, man. That's rough.
But I did like training for it. But for me, what I want to do is I want to really tighten my core. My core is like bad, and because I have 3 herniated discs in my neck from
okay.
2 car accidents, my upper body is like
I can show you stuff.
nothing there.
I can show you stuff.
So,
On
yeah.
the video alone. Because there's no
Something.
pressure on your neck at all.
Good, because
Yeah, no.
that's what it is. I have to be really careful.
There's always an
my
exercise
neck.
out there. And don't
I
listen to
figured that.
anybody who says, this is the best. There's no the best.
It's what works for you,
It works
no?
for you, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's
exactly. You don't train Mike Tyson the same way you would train Muhammad Ali.
Correct.
Two completely different fighters.
Correct.
You know.
All right. And on that note, we got to go take my next break. Don't go away, everybody. Stay right there. More with Scott Baker when we come back.
Hi, I'm Georgia Rose, founder of Zenkuda. You can watch me on the Soul Space podcast every Friday at noon on Channel 20 for spiritual guidance. And as you all know, that is how I first opened into my own psychic gifts, was through the angelic realm, astrology. So we've got Mars and the Sun together in Scorpio, which creates a lot of combustion. In the astrological world, we call that a kazemi, and tarot. When the Four of Cups right side up, it means we have a lot of choices to make and we're not looking at what's really being divinely given to us. We're too busy in the busyness of the choices to really see the divine intervention, the divine timing, and the divine guidance. We're the place. Watch the Soul Space podcast.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
How you doing? It's Sal the Voice Valentinetti. Why are you watching me? You should be watching Theresa Canastraci Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. And make sure you follow Theresa on Facebook. Tea Time with Theresa Canastraci Farrell. We'll see you there.
I love the way you say my name. I love.
Where you from?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tea Time. Scott wants to know where I'm from. Originally,
You're from Brooklyn, right?
he's interviewing me now.
Yeah.
Originally, I'm from Corona.
Corona, the 110. Okay.
Yeah.
And Lemon Ice King.
Lemon Ice King.
Love that
and then
place.
when I was 4, we moved to Bayside.
Okay, well, say it.
And I was an auxiliary police officer at
In
the
111?
111.
Ah,
Yep,
look at
Fort
you.
Azalea.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You probably fell asleep on patrol that.
We didn't have much going on
No,
there.
there's not much going
we
on
really
Bayside,
didn't.
you know.
But listen, everyone, I'm so glad you're tuning in. I'm here every Monday night at 8 o'clock live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm with Scott Baker. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He's a writer. He's a friend, and I love hanging out with him. We don't do it. We don't do it too often.
I love going down and seeing shows. When I'm on the
know.
island, I gotta come to more because I do
Well, I want to come see you.
We have shows on the island coming up.
Yeah. So where can people go? Is there a website or a Facebook or Insta?
Just
Where do you
just
put
friend
your
me,
show?
Friend me on Facebook
Where do
and
you
I
put
put it up.
Oh,
That's
Scott
it.
Baker
Yeah, I'm so
on
bad.
Facebook
Yeah.
and see where he's where he's performing
We have a
next.
Facebook page, Quickest Thinkers in Comedy. Do I update it?
No.
I'm so bad with social media. I'm 57. This wasn't around. I don't know. I'm taking ads out in newspapers.
Wait,
still.
I'm so not tech savvy.
I know. Me
so
neither.
bad.
Me neither.
It's so
my
bad.
cousin runs my Instagram page.
You said that.
Yeah, he runs my
I finally
Instagram page.
found it.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, he says, Scott, you gotta go, Brad, I don't know. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Just do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about acting, because you, as we show your first headshot, got into acting. We have other pics there too. The pic after that, though, has to do with comedy. Tell everyone who's in this pic, because you have, I think Bob Nelson's in it. There we go. There's Richie. There's Bob. There's Manny.
Yeah.
You, Gary.
So that's
Who's in front of Bob?
That is Gemini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Gemini.
Okay.
Great guy. So that was at the original East Side Comedy Club,
Yes.
which was then a Pomodorino.
Right.
And they came down to do a benefit.
Yeah.
I believe it was for I want to get right. I think it was for Richie's nephew.
Okay.
I think. So everyone came down to perform, and
Nice.
I came down there to hang out with Bob, and
Nice.
it was really like walking back into it.
Yeah,
like a time warp again. Yeah, it was really great.
I'm just going to run through some things. There's no pics yet until I say, but I'll tell you, I'll cue them up. But so you started back in the day, 1994. This might have been your first gig. I don't know if you had another one. It was Frank Stubbs Promotes, which was a TV series.
I don't know.
I don't know. You got. Listen, you got a plethora of stuff. So basically, he did TV, he did movies.
I don't know, 1994 is a long
You know,
time
you've
ago.
played everything from a waiter to a dad to fireman to a cop to a
If I would have
detective.
worn headgear during my fights, then maybe I would remember that, 1994, but not so much.
But you did something called The Upper Hand, which was also a TV series. You did Pie in the Sky. A lot of them were TV series. You did Fever Pitch. You did Kiss Me Kate. It goes on and on and on. The Vice. You did Smack the Pony. You did A Wall of Silence, which is a movie. You did My Hero. On and on and on and on and on. Which brings us to something called Hand to Mouth. Which, did you also write and produce that?
I don't know.
No?
I don't think that's the right one.
Sometimes they change the names.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They change it to something else. You did Not Going Out. You did a whole bunch of stuff. And then, of course, we do have some picks, which you're going to put up. I think the first pick is with you and... that's
Tom.
you and Tom Cotta,
Yeah.
who I had on the show.
Tom's a great guy.
Tom's wonderful.
He's a great guy. And he is, I mean, so that's at Mohegan Sun. We did our
Yes.
show at Mohegan.
Yeah.
And that's in the green room.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Leave that there real quick because Ralph Bracco's in the back, but
Yeah.
he's blurry. But that's you. That was a Discovery ID Network thing that you did, which I actually filmed one.
Oh, that's a Perfect Murder.
Couple of weeks ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect Murder.
That's Torelli's
Yes.
show, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
a fun
Perfect
show.
Murder.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know what you got after that one.
What we got?
After Ralph. Oh, okay. That's you with Michael Rispoli in Billions.
Yes, that's right. Also a great guy.
Yes.
So he's very
Love
pro
him.
cop.
Met him. Love him.
I mean, this is what I like about some of the guys in the business.
Yeah.
Some of the guys are super nice. You would never, that you could approach them, they talk.
Yes.
And there's one thing, and if there's comedians watching, any up and coming,
Yeah.
don't go and do your bit in front of a guy who's a headliner. They don't want to hear it. Just be yourself. So these guys, they don't talk about acting. They just come up and talk to you.
Right,
And the
right,
funny
right.
thing is, when they find out that I was a cop,
Right.
they want to know what it was like. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, it's really not a big deal
Yeah.
to be a cop. But I want to know, like, I like learning about them.
Yeah, but a lot of cops have become actors.
Yeah.
Then they've also become consultants on sets.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which I just had last week, Randy Jurgensen here.
Oh, he's from Vegas, right?
No, Randy's from New York. He's from Harlem. And
Oh, different Randy. Randy Sutton's the guy from Vegas.
Yeah,
who's a
and
consultant.
he was a cop, and he was also part of that I think it was 72 in April. He wrote a book called Circle of Six. You have to read it.
Yes,
Amazing,
yes.
amazing story.
Yes, that's right.
And, he was
it's
in, and he was in The Godfather, and he's the one who kicked Sonny in the head after he shot him.
That's him?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
it was great.
right. I got my
But
Randys
but a lot of
confused, yes.
cops do become actors or consultants, or
Because they want realism.
Well, that's the
how
whole
I got
thing.
the upgrade on The Irishman.
Right. The Irishman. We got a picture of you and Pacino.
Yeah. That's how I got the upgrade on The Irishman.
I think it's the next one right there. Yeah, that's it. I think that's
Yep,
there.
that's
You are.
it, yeah.
There you are with Pacino.
Yeah, I
Tell
played
me that story.
I played a federal marshal there.
Yes.
So I just get them doing a background work because they want real cops sometimes on
Yeah,
scene. And
yeah,
Scorsese was the director.
Yeah.
So talking to the FBI consultant there, and in real life, there's someone who shoots Hoffa in the courtroom.
Yes.
So the assistant director comes up. Okay, when he shoots Hoffa, you, the federal marshal, meaning me, hold the crowd back. I'm like, hold the crowd back? Crowds don't rush towards.
Not in a courtroom.
Not anywhere.
No.
Crowds run away from a gun. If someone's shooting someone, are you going to rush towards and go?
No.
You're running away. You don't want to get shot.
You run in the opposite direction.
So I said to the AD, I was like, listen, I'll do whatever you want. It's your dime, but that's not the way it would work.
Yeah, how
And
realistic
he's like,
do you want it?
Yeah, and he says, what are you talking about? I said, well, they wouldn't rush towards the shooter. They would run away because they want to get out of the court. They don't want to get shot. And he gets on his little thing. He's on, hold on one second. All of a sudden, Scorsese comes out from the next room where he was, where all the dailies were, I guess.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he's like looking up at me, nice guy, but he's like this big, He says, how would it go? And I go, well, you're Martin Scorsese, you're the award winner, but this is the way it really would happen. He goes, all right, reshoot it. So he reshoots it, and then they have me run towards the shooter and grab the shooter or tackle him and grab him off of Hoffa. And so they gave me an upgrade, and then all of a sudden I get in the mail this big nomination award from the Screen Actors Guild Award. Then I'm part of the stunt team. So now I'm part of the stunt coordination team. And then I had the audacity. I had the audacity to call him and go, so yeah, I think I get tickets to the award show. He's like, what are you out of your effing mind? There's like 6 tickets for everybody. I said, yeah, you don't know if you don't ask. Well, you say, well, if Pacino and De Niro get sick, I'll go. You know, I mean, let me know.
Oh my God.
So
That is
that's how I got the upgrade
that is
on it.
so funny. What we have some pics after that, I think, with you and some celebs. Oh no, that was another one.
He's a
you
celeb,
did.
Terry McNeely.
Yeah, that's Terry.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Terry's great. Terry does a lot of comedy shows at Governors.
Terry makes me laugh. We had a good time.
It's hard to see that is Terry. Cause now that's you with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman.
Yeah.
That's that's 95.5.
There was a
That's
Odd Couple.
WPLJ.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
Odd Couple reunion cruise. My friend's wife worked for WPLJ.
Yeah.
So she got us tickets because I am the biggest Odd Couple fan on the planet.
Are you?
I know all 114 episodes ever made. If you had time, I can go through them all.
Wow.
And I can probably quote every single line to ever know the Odd Couple.
That is cool.
Yeah. It's so I drive people crazy with it, but I love it. Yeah.
Well, we got after that.
What we got?
We have you and
There I was again. Oh, Don
Oh,
Rickles.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me about that.
So, who's cropped out of the picture is my wonderful cousin Brad, who runs my Instagram.
Yes.
Who I don't know what I'm doing. So it's me and Don at after Westbury Music Fair show.
Yeah.
So, great story, great guy. So we run into Don Rickles.
Yeah.
And his manager Tony O, who I'm really close with now. We text on a regular basis. And so we ran into Don, and he gets out of the limo, and I go, Don Rickles, we just came from the show. And me and my cousin are dressed in that shirt and another dress, and here he goes, Rickles us, and it's the highlight of my career being insulted by Don Rickles. So he looks at me, he goes, only two guys can get away with wearing shirts like that, male models and gay guys. And he pauses and goes, and you two guys ain't that good looking. So boom! So we took pictures with him and bought him a drink.
God.
He bought us a drink.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he was really nice man.
Yeah, that's great. We have one or two more, or is that it? We've got, you and Lucy.
Lucy Liu, that's her and I in the city. Again, my cousin Brad. We went to Christopher Walken's play.
Nice.
And then we ran into Lucy Liu. We just, took
There you
a
go.
picture.
Hey, can we take a pic? Now, you and Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll tell you my Joe Namath story real
Please
quick,
do,
which I've
please
done
do.
on this show. Thank you, Bobby. Okay, so I love all sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to go to a football game. So my dad took me to my first football game at Shea Stadium to see the Jets.
What a blessing. And Joe Willie played?
Joe was the quarterback.
What a
Because
great
I'm
memory.
older than you, my friend.
But you don't look it, so that's not. No one's gonna believe it.
I know.
When you get a gray beard, then you can tell me you're
I
60.
shaved this morning. So,
Good. It's a good thing because the light will hit it.
Because I'm
weird.
Italian. So. Anyway, tell me about that pic.
Joe Namath?
Yeah.
I'm a Joe Namath fanatic. So when I was a fighter, since I was a Joe Namath fanatic, my nickname was instead of Broadway Joe, it was Broadway Jew. So that was my boxing name. That was it. And that's my friends nicknamed me that.
That's great.
So when I was a fighter, they, the Broadway Jew, here he is. So we met Namath, me and my buddy went there, and we went and we ran into him, and I've met him several times now.
Yeah.
And he took off his ring, gave me his ring, and he actually has a copy of my book. So he's such a super nice guy. So it's nice to meet you, Mr. Namath. I'm a big fan. Please call me Joe.
Yeah.
He's a really humble guy. And you wouldn't think so because it's bravado, but no.
Well, I'd love to get him on the show. I got to work on it. But I will tell you, I had Perry Williams.
From the Giants?
From the Giants, right? Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
And I've had on Doc Gooden, who played with the Mets and the Yankees. Hoping to have him in that chair again because now he's living on Long Island.
Doc Gooden is?
Yes, he is.
I'm sure he would come in.
So yeah.
Who wouldn't come in with those boots and those lights? Come on.
So I'll get more, more sports, because they're part of the entertainment industry as well.
But they're interesting stories.
They have
Doc
a lot
Gooden's
of interesting
background,
stories.
they come up as
Doc
as
was
a
great.
young man.
Doc I had on the show. We did it virtually at the time because he was down in Florida. But yeah, I definitely want him back.
Maybe the problem we have with Namath because he lives in Florida.
Maybe. I don't know. But when he comes up,
I
have to grab him or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so the other thing is I wanted to talk to you about is what do you have going on? Because I know you had mentioned before that, you wrote a movie, right? You wrote something with Tom.
Yeah, my partner from
talk
Midtown.
about Tom.
So I have a sitcom, Midtown. Tom Malloy and I met on an anger management, not in anger management. Well, I have an issue, so that's right. But me and Tom Malloy met on Adam Sandler movie.
Yes,
and we
love Adam.
And it was such a nice guy.
He's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
He really was. But I have to say, from that last, Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Again, one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's sweet. A
Ray
friend
Romano,
of mine.
one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, Ray's
De
great
Niro,
too.
not so much.
No.
Don't
yeah.
care for him.
I've heard some stuff about him.
Yeah, I don't care for him. As an actor, I mean, he's great.
Oh,
As a
yeah.
human being, no, I wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire.
All right.
That's just me. Again, 57, because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
So you and Tom
Malloy,
wrote,
yes. Me and Tom Malloy
wrote. He wrote a movie.
We wrote a movie. And Tom's a great guy, man. This is a guy I truly admire. He set out to talk about manifestation. This is a guy who went to film school, started out as an actor.
Right.
He wrote a book on how to fund movies. He funds movies, by getting people. He's successful. He has his film distribution company.
Wow.
He is just a good guy. On a personal note, I don't care if I'm going to embarrass him or not, but
He doesn't care.
this is a guy who gave up Hollywood, moved from California. He got divorced. His wife moved back to her family in Rochester.
Okay.
Tom gave up Hollywood because he didn't want to be away from his kids.
Wow.
Moved to Rochester, found a way to make a living in Hollywood, in acting, still in Rochester. Wow. He's finally moving back to LA now. His kids are grown and going to college.
Yeah.
But this is a man I admire. He's a friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And we made some good stuff together with Midtown,
Yeah.
which was ripped off by Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But
Yeah,
that was pretty crappy what they did, and that was Regis Philbin's son-in-law who did it. And,
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
So can you tell me the name or a little bit about
Orange
this
Justice.
movie?
Orange Justice. It's a comedy.
I love comedies.
Yeah, it's about two cops like from Midtown. We
Yeah.
just changed our names.
Okay.
We are bumbling idiots who never shut up. It's Seinfeld meets Barney Miller. But it's basically that we beat up a African American and black guy. We beat him up with a sack of oranges because he's a friend of ours.
Okay.
But he thinks that because Bing Crosby did it to his kids back in the day, that he used to hit his kids with oranges, his kids claim.
Yeah.
But it didn't leave bruises. So we have an argument at the beginning of the movie, like, you can't hurt somebody with oranges. Yes, you can. No, you can't. So we stop at a Korean grocer and we beat him up with oranges because he's saying we can't.
Right.
And it's captured on film. So it's captured on film, and all of a sudden he turns on us because he's a big payday.
Right.
And all of a sudden we get fired, we get suspended from the police force, we have to take other jobs.
Right.
And it ensues from there. So it's a lot of fun. And,
Are you married? Do you need a wife?
In the movie? But there is a prostitute scene. I was wondering. No, I'm kidding.
Listen,
no.
I played. No, you're laughing. I played the prostitute twice.
Oh, did you really?
I have for Fred Carpenter and for Jerry Landy.
Really?
Yes. And
nothing wrong with
Jerry
that.
Landy's prostitute was pretty recent.
There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, prostitutes are people too.
That's right.
Yeah,
they
it's an honest
are.
buck.
Everyone's got to make a living,
It's
people.
an honest buck. It's legal in some places.
It is. Bunny Ranch, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's right. Not that I would know.
No.
No, it's a lot of fun, to work with Tom. And I don't have an ego when it comes to that stuff. And he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
So I know comedy. He knows comedy and film. So I listen to him.
Yeah.
Because he knows more than I do.
That's
he knows
great.
distribution.
Yeah.
And he guides, and he says, Scott, I need this. And I
Yeah.
go ahead and I do it.
Cool.
And neither one have egos. It's, Tom, I don't think this works.
That's how you get things done, though.
Yeah. Because it's about the project. It's not about the individual.
Right.
And you got to have respect for the other one. The other one's got to come through. And,
Absolutely.
And
it's nice. It is like a marriage. It is a partnership like a marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's everything's based in friendship. You know what I mean? And I think, at this stage, I don't want to work with people I don't like. I don't have to anymore.
Because we don't.
I don't care.
care.
I don't care.
Hey, but you know what? I do care because I got to take my last break. So stay right there. More with Scott after this. Don't go away.
Wonder Woman was everything to little girls, especially that look like me. She stands for being a voice for people that need a voice. My organization renovates homes for people with disabilities. And when I come home, a self-care routine makes me feel my best. I'm very proud of the difference that we're making, and to see that impact in my community inspires me to work even harder for everyone around me.
Hey everybody, it's Theresa from Tea Time. What's my show about? I interview people in the entertainment industry, producers, directors, actors, and guess what? My show is on every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Channel 20 on Optimum TV. So tune in because it's fun, interesting, and exciting.
Doc, who's the best comedian you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best actress you know?
Theresa Farrow.
And who's the best cast member in Bad Boys?
Teresa Farrow.
Who's got the best radio?
Teresa Farrow.
Doc, who's your favorite Guinea?
Teresa Farrow.
Who are you loving right now?
Teresa Farrow.
All right, Doc, I love you too, baby.
Love you as always.
Thank you.
He looks like such a nice man.
He's great. Hey, thanks, Doc. Can't wait to have you back on the show. I'm with Scott Baker. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He's a writer. He's a friend of mine. He's so talented. He's so funny. Former NYPD. Again, thank you for your service. Boxer, author. And now, let's talk about the meat of it. The meat of the potatoes. The quickest thinkers in comedy.
Yeah.
Now, this is total improv.
And it's not really improv per se, as you would say improv. Which
Most of it.
It's not really. No,
Yeah.
I would have to respectfully disagree.
Okay.
It's a comedy team.
Yes.
It's not improv.
Yes.
It's not
And
improv.
right now I think we have a pick of you and Vinnie Mark. I think that should be the last pick. I'm thinking of the two of you together.
Oh, Vinny looks great.
No, that's not it. Okay. So maybe I thought I sent it to you. Okay. All right, maybe it's not there. Okay, so we'll go back to that. But okay, the quickest thinkers in comedy has evolved.
Yeah.
Because you first were working with
Al Isaacs.
Al.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were with him
Al and I
nice amount
started.
of time.
Let's see. Al and I think we were probably together 15 years.
Yeah. Again, like a
Somewhere in there.
marriage.
Yeah. No, Al is extremely talented.
Yes. Yes.
I tell you, not one great thing. There's many great things about his talent, but Al can make, and Vinny can do the same thing, a 300-person audience feel like a 3-person living room. Mm-hmm. And it's really pretty great. And the reason we don't say improv, because improv goes a long way for a very short laugh.
Right.
And they're using a lot of sketch in improv. We don't. We have our bit, what we're going to do.
Okay.
But we bring someone up from the audience every time.
Okay.
So although it's improvised, it's not improv.
Got it.
In the way people would think.
Right.
So it really is a comedy team, and we're just having fun because I don't know what's going to happen. A lot of improv groups, they go over, they wear funny T-shirts, and there's 5 of them.
Right.
And that's why two reasons why improv teams don't take off.
Okay.
One is it's hard to get all 5 people to agree.
Correct.
And split money and earn a living.
Yes.
And that. The second reason is a lot of it's not very good. It just simply isn't.
Right.
They try to be funny. They try and send a message. There's a lot of things wrong with it. Me and Al and me and Vinny, we know it's about the audience.
Right.
You know, so we go up there and we have a lot of fun with it. But you know, Al had this wrestling background.
Okay.
And he was this great had this wrestling website.
Right.
It's called Scoops, and he had that mind that could create fantasy. Mm-hmm. So he was great at setting the stage. Now Vinny is so likable on stage that Vinny does his own drop downs.
Yeah.
And he's just likable instantaneously. He gets away with stuff I can never get away with because I come off looking like an arrogant, guy.
Okay.
Vinny's just so freaking likable.
Yeah.
So they both knew what they were doing, know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Very few people do when it comes to this.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate to work with both of them.
And how long are you working with Vinny now?
Vinny's about 5 years. Al started dwindling out of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he's married to
COVID.
a beautiful woman named Theresa.
He's married to Theresa.
And
yeah.
she is like some triple black belt. She's into
I don't
martial arts.
Yeah, I mean she does
so
martial arts. And stuff.
So now tell everyone again where they can come and see you and Vin.
Yeah, so me and Vinny, Vinny's a great guy. I'll tell you something about Vinny real quick.
Yeah.
We'll get this in.
Shout out to Vinny because we're gonna send this to him.
Vinny is an amazing human being. So Vinny's wife was sick with a very rare disease called super progressive nuclear palsy. Stood by her side, took her everywhere, cleaned her, bathed her, everything. She recently passed away, and this guy worked the entire time taking her on the road. We took her on the road, different places, had to get her coverage.
Yeah.
And this guy never missed a beat. He's an amazing human being. You want to talk about loyal? You want to talk about a guy with integrity? That's Vinny, and that's why I love working with Vinny.
Yeah.
That man's got integrity. So we have a show coming up at Malloy College, Malloy Performing Arts Center on the 13th. This weekend we are in Doylestown, Pennsylvania at Poco's Comedy Club. Then we were the following week, which is on the 20th, we are in Red Bank, New Jersey at an Elks,
yeah, I played Red Bank.
over there. And this entire summer, we are every Saturday at Woodlock Pines, our summer residency.
I was just going to ask you about Woodlock Pines.
Yeah, it's my favorite place.
Yeah.
So Woodlock Pines.
I was there once. I loved it.
It's great.
But we weren't there in the summer because we went when it was cheaper in the winter.
Yeah, it's great.
But it's good. You're going to be there every Saturday?
Every Saturday, and then we are donating half of our payback this year. We're at a stage where we can do it, or I can do it. I'm lucky enough. Half our payback, because I could never afford to go on vacation when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking any pay this summer. It's going back to the resort to put in an account to pay for a family that cannot afford to go.
Oh, nice.
So when enough builds up, it's like $1,000 a night to stay there in the summer.
It's
as you
very
know.
expensive in the summer.
It's worth it, but it's very expensive.
Yes.
So we're gonna pick a family who's gone through something
Nice.
and gonna pay for them.
That's
gotta give
great.
back.
That's beautiful. You do have to give back. Abso-freaking-lutely. All right, listen. We're done already.
Went like that.
Didn't this go fast?
Yeah, it went like that.
All right, so listen, I want to thank you so much for doing this for me.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I really do. And I'm glad I finally got you on. Life's all about timing, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry it took so long. We'll do it again, though.
We're definitely going to do it again. And I want to thank everyone for watching Tea Time and supporting me. I'm going to be off next week, but I'll be back the week after. So remember, tell everyone you love them. I'll see you next time. Ciao.